Hi guys, Michael Kumar. This will be my third year teaching over at Fairview Middle School. I actually had to sneak into school so we could do this. So if you hear the intercom go off or anything like that, yeah, I am in my classroom right now. All right, so today we're going to be talking about Ivan Pavlov and how he influenced education. There's three things we want to take away from this today. One, who was Ivan Pavlov? Talk about that. Two, what did he do? What was he known for? And the third thing is, why is this important? And specifically, why is this important for us teachers? So Ivan Pavlov, he was born in 1849. He was the first ever Russian scientist to win the Nobel Prize. He won that in 1904. He's a major contributor, or his major contribution in 1927 came with conditional reflex, and we'll be talking about this. He died in 1936. There's a picture of him. All pictures I found, he always had this big old bushy beard, so I respect the beard. His major thing came from this classical condition. That's what we're talking about. And it came from his ability to do an experiment on a dog. Now, experiments on dogs, how does that relate to teaching? And that's what we're going to focus on right here. So, he got this nice, cute little puppy dog. He put a bowl in front of the dog. As soon as the dog sees food, saliva starts to come down. So, and this is what the whole thing was based off of, is the dog's responses. So he would see this food, he would start saliva. So, and it wasn't just one time. You see the timeline, it goes boom, boom, boom. No, this happens over and over and over again. So, bowl down, saliva comes out. Bowl down, saliva comes out. Continues to do this. He always documents it. So eventually, he starts to add a bell. I got ahead of myself right there. So, then he would just, no bowl down, no food this time, he would ring the bell. Dog wouldn't do anything. Ring the bell. Dog wouldn't do anything. Okay. So he's got that down. No saliva came from him ringing the bell. So the third thing he starts to do, he starts to put down the bowl of food and the bell. Bowl of food and the bell. Bowl of food and the bell. So now, the dog starts to associate, anytime he hears this bell, hey, my dinner's here. My food's here. So he would start to saliva. As you can see, puts the bowl down, he would get the saliva. Bell, no saliva. When he starts adding them together, and remember, he's doing this time and time and time and time again, so now the dog really starts to associate. He gets that repetition of bowl, bell, food. Bowl, bell, food. So now he comes up with, he would just ring the bell, his fourth thing. Just ring the bell, and now since the dog is so used to, all right, bell gets rang, where's my food? Where's my food? There's the bell, where's my food? So the dog went from hearing the bell, no saliva, to at the very end, just hearing the bell, saliva starts coming from his mouth. So bell, no saliva, food, there he starts to have saliva going, then bell and food, and that's how he got it. Continuous repetition with that, and then boom, just the bell. So, how does this work with teaching? How can we tie that in with teaching? So why is classical conditioning important for us teachers? That's the next thing we're going to jump to. Emotions can be created through conditioning. So, repetition. If when you're in class and you're repping something as far as, and a lot of this, what we're learning from him is, these are like first day things. These are first week. Get them into a routine, especially the younger kids. The older kids you can kind of talk a little bit more with, especially at high school age, but middle school, elementary school, get them in a routine. Emotions can be created through conditioning. So that's the one we talked about. As far as the dog having saliva come down, he knew it was dinner time. That was what he was associating the bell with. Audio and visual aids are vital to teaching. So, same thing with talking about getting them into a routine. If the kids come in and they see, oh man, Mr. Kumar's got the Promethean board on, it means notes. So then boom, they pull out their notes. Or if they see, if you get them trained in a routine to where if the bell rings, all right, then they got to pull out their homework from the previous night. So these are all just routines, okay? We're trying to mold habits or create good habits, and that's all we're trying to do with these. And if you can get the students into a routine, it's going to really cut down with behavioral problems, because they're not going to have that first 5 minutes to kind of screw around because they don't know what they're doing. No, they come in, they go, all right, I got to check the board, see what I'm doing today, or okay, the PowerPoint's going to be on today. You get out my notes and you copy it down. The basic of Pavlov's classical conditioning served as a historical backdrop for current learning theories, okay? And those are learning theories that are based off of routine, structure. Classical conditioning set the groundwork for present-day behavior, modification practices, the relationship between environmental stimuli and behavioral responses. One of the things for me was my first year, and I went to Florida State, got a history degree, didn't do anything with education. So I knew the information, but the teaching aspect of it, I figured how hard could it be. And it wasn't too bad. I had my bumps along the way, but one of the things I really struggled with was that first 5 minutes. First 5 minutes. So, after going through a year of it and talking with other teachers, I realized, all right, this year, I'm going to get them into a routine. We're going to establish a routine. So, what they would do is they would come into the room, bell would ring. There would always be 4 or 5 vocab words on the board. So they knew as soon as they sat down, all right, got to pull out my notebook, copy down the vocab. Once they copied down the vocab, and that also saved me time taking a roll, because as soon as they walked in, they were copying down vocab, I could boom, 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 knock out a roll real quick. Then the next thing was, then they would look on the board. Usually, I would have their learning goals over there, as well as their assignment for the day over there. So it said, turn your books to whatever page to read, they would do that. If it said, get out your homework from last night, they would start with that. So it was really a good way of getting them into a routine. Coming in, sitting down, start copying your vocab. And this would be their daily approaches to learning grade. Was, following rules and procedures. And this is something you have to harp on them at the beginning of the year about. First year, I didn't do that. Second year, it was probably about the Thursday, so the third day, when I really started, all right guys, hammer that routine. This is what we're going to do in this class. So as the same way we saw the dog kind of progressing, so this goes with the students. Students come into class not knowing procedures on the first day. Now usually the first day, roll, the kids are going in and out of class, they're getting their schedule switched around. So, I don't do it on the first day, but definitely that first week, get them into the routine. So students come in not knowing procedures. First day, so it kind of jumps over to the next one, procedures are taught. You can go over your procedures, but you don't really get into it. You say, all right guys, when we come into the classroom, you're going to come down, you're going to start copying down your vocab, next thing you're going to look over here. But we're not practicing it yet. Second day, second day of when you started, students get reminders. So you still got to help them with it. You got to say, all right, it's not as simple as easy as just going to your desk and then having them thinking they're going to start the routine on their own. No, you still got to remind them. So students remind of procedures as teacher goes in front of the room. Students correctly perform procedures without reminders, or with reminders, with reminders. Third day, so now They're starting to get into that routine, Students correctly perform procedure without the need of reminder. So as you get into it, you know, they will progress. You won't have to be there as much. So what did we talk about today? Who was he? Ian Pavlov. What did he do? Classical conditioning. And why is this important for teachers? It really will help out with behavior in class. It will help out with getting your class flowing, getting that first 5 minutes flowing. Because once that gets over with, then you really start bouncing into your lessons. So this is a little quiz for you guys. What did Ivan Pavlov do for education? What was Pavlov's most important experiment? And how can we use reflex conditioning or classical conditioning? All right, I'm Michael Kumar. I hope you enjoyed this. Y'all have a good summer. See you later.